Well, you magnificent bastards, you get out there and you show the world who you are and what you are. You don't put up with their bullshit, they put up with yours. Anyways, that aside now. Um, I got on here to let's talk about something you just don't hear about. You hear about it, but I think you hear about it the wrong way. Jesus stood up. Pharaoh's tried to trap him into, whatever. And he stood up and he says, "Let me see a coin, silver coin." And he says, "Who's on the coin?" Caesar. Well, you give upon Caesar what is Caesar's. Taxes, so on and so forth. All right. And you're supposed to obey, authority and so on and so forth. Okay. We get all that, right? Okay. The way I look at it is go back and look at the time. Okay. See, back then they had dictatorships, and that's what they were. So Caesar was, he controlled everything. Fast forward to this country, the forming of this country. We don't have a dictator. So if I hold up a coin, normally I have some change sitting there, but I don't. But normally, if you held up a coin, it's a George Washington or you know Jefferson or Lincoln or somebody's on the coin, just like on your dollar bills. It's a dead president, so a statesman or someone like that. But they're not a dictator. They're a duly elected quote official that work for us. Us. Okay? Because we formed this government, say. So we don't have a dictator. So who are you going to render this to? Exactly. Us. We are the government. We're the rightful owners of this country. So they want to sit here and say anything about, well, renders to Caesar's, but Caesar's dead. So you don't render shit to him. And he was a dictator. Well, we don't have a dictator. You see, we are the owners of this country. We hire some fucking managers to do what we want, and we should be able to fire them. Because, stop and think about this. Like I said before, you walk in and tell your boss how to do something, what's he going to do? He'll fire your ass. He'll fire you. Boom, you're gone. Didn't like you, man. Just got rid of you. Didn't like your attitude. So, your government, though, comes in and they just tell you, the owner, what to do, how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that. They don't bring it and tell you, hey, listen, we're having a vote on this, we're having a vote on that, and it's about this and it's about that. No, they want to lump it all up into one bill that's, like thousands and thousands of pages instead of, well, we got a bill here, that's 2 pages, a page, 5 pages. They don't want to do that. Oh, that'd take us too long. I don't care if it takes you too long. You work for me. You don't like it, quit. Go find a job somewhere else in the private sector. It's like being a cop. Oh, you don't know what it's like being a cop. It's a tough job. Well, it's so tough for you and you can't handle it. Quit and find another job. Become a fireman. There's always a simple solution to the answer, usually. So, my point being is, well, let's go a step further here. Who else? You go to your employer and say, "Yeah, I want a raise." So you just walk up and you say, I want $100 an hour, and you get $100 an hour plus, benefits and everything else, and for life and everything else, all paid for by the company you work for. That'd be a cool day, won't it? But what's these people do that work for you? They vote their raises in. They vote that they get all their health care paid for life. They get we should have a say. They work for us. We are the owners. Okay. I mean, if they're going to take money out of your pocket, you should have it. You supposed to have representation, but you don't say, "Oh, well, you could. We could what?" Most people are out there busting their ass trying to make a living, trying to figure out how they're going to pay for this and pay for that, and get by tomorrow or a year from now. And these guys, they just they fly around on your dollar and you get paid, make millions and millions of dollars, but you don't. But back to Caesar. You understand what I'm saying, though. Now, Caesar could do whatever Caesar wanted. Our form of government does not allow our government to do whatever they want. So when Jesus stood there and said, "Give unto Caesar's what Caesar's," we are Caesar. You're supposed to abide and follow the authority. Well, if that's the case, the government is supposed to abide by us and follow us and do what we tell them to do. Again, they don't. See, we ask God. That's right. We the people ask God to form a more perfect government, union, whatever you want to call it. See, our authority comes from God. And the government's authority comes from us. Now, I understand what Jesus was saying. And, you're supposed to abide by the government, or the authority power and this and that. Well, they're not the authority. We are. Like I keep saying. I can't say that enough. Just like Hitler. I can't imagine a soldier, a German soldier, saying to, like, you got a lot to say, plead your case. It ain't gonna happen. To God or to Jesus, or to say, "Oh, well, hey, I was just following orders." Man, I mean, they told me to gas these little children and pregnant women and kill them. They told me to do it, so I just did it. God's going to look at you and go, "I gave you free will." Well, you told us to follow the authority. You told us to do what our authority told us to do, and we did it. How do you think that's going to go over for them? God's going to throw you in a lake of fire so far down because it's like, don't play games with me. You know what I meant. You have a responsibility as a Christian that has free will to have discernment to figure this out, to go, no. The times when Jesus was being persecuted were different from today's. Not really so much different. It's basically the same, but a different name. Okay? Back then it was a dictatorship. Today it's called, well, they want to call it a democracy, but it's a constitutional republic where each individual has rights. Individual rights. You're not thrown up into some collective like the Borg or whatever. And when they try to do that, you see, I keep coming back to this too. The government, has broken the contract. Okay? Every contract they've ever made has been broken by them. You don't have a contract. You say, "Oh, we're a judge." Yeah, go screw yourself. Well, I'm the law. No, go screw yourself. Well, taxation without you done broke the contract. Fuck you. They've created a system of anarchy because they don't follow the rules. But you're supposed to follow the rules that they make that are draconian and bullshit to you because they're dictators. You are the owner of this country. You pay the bills. When it's them that are supposed to be taxed, not you. I mean, all this taxation bullshit is just that. Again, they broke the contract with you. There is no representation. I could go on this subject for quite a while, but most people don't watch anything for the last. Yeah, I mean, all right, click it on, click it on, click it on, click it on. It's like a little monkey. Little here's your little treat, little monkey. I'm not calling you guys monkeys. I'm just saying, in a general sense, that's what people do, and you know that to be true. A lot of you have probably gone, click. Okay, let's watch something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having discernment and what you want to put into your brain, how you want to look at things in life is different than how I'm going to look at things. But a lot of times, how I look at things, I would like someone to like prove me otherwise. You see, I mean, I could go on and on about a lot of stuff, but you folks, you take care now. And remember, this world, this bullshit, it's an illusion. It's all crap. All right. You cannot serve two masters. I don't know how many times you haven't heard me say it, but other people also, and Christ Himself. You'll learn to love one and hate the other. There's only one master, one Christ, one Lord, King of Kings. This place ain't it. All right. Don't fear the one that can kill the flesh. Worry about the one that can kill the soul, the spirit. And that's Christ. That's God. So, folks, I'm telling you, they're just playing games with you. This is all bullshit. There's good people out there. Well, the other day I said there's no good because God's good. Christ is good. As far as man goes, man is rebellion, and his best works is filthy rags. And the only thing we have is the grace of God and His mercy. That's what we have. Christ died on the cross for you. He he took death and He conquered it. He went to hell and told them, "Here I am. Can't touch me." He's a made man. Well, I shouldn't say mad, but he's made, you know. He's like a mafia guy, but a good one. I'm just screwing around here. I know. Some people go, "Oh, that's blasphemy." Well, yeah, it could be, but God knows I don't mean it that way. You know, He knows I'm just screwing around, being an idiot, like whatever. So, folks, remember, have a don't talk at God. Don't just sit there and go, "Oh, I'm having problems," or "I'm this, I'm that." Talk to Him like you talk to your child. Is your Christ's child. He knew you before you were in the womb. And it's a great honor to be alive at this time. He could have picked hundreds of millions, billions of other people, but he picked us. For what reason? He has his. And Christ is, God's never wrong. There's a reason you're here. So, folks, I'll tell you what, there's been times I've looked at things and, on here, you can get all these stats and this and that bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And people watch from other countries and so on and so forth. And I appreciate, people clicking, the likes and stuff. And, yeah, even though they click that I don't like, hey, you're watching. You don't like it? That's fine. I get it. I'm not going to tell you what the hell you can think and what you can't think. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. And if I'm full of shit, you tell me I am. Not going to hurt my feelings. People just don't want to hear and don't want to listen to this stuff. They'd rather watch some little girl or woman or whatever put on her makeup and sit there in a low cut top with, push up bra and this and that stuff. I get it. I get it. It's pleasing to look at. Looks nice. I get that. I mean, I've always said guys are just ugly as shit. I don't even know what women see in us. I don't know what women see in us. We're just ugly and hideous. But man, he outdid himself when it comes to women. So if you got a good one, keep them. You're a lucky man. So, folks, you take care and don't let these people bullshit with you. There's enough people out there on the internet that actually go into the law, go into, I mean, what backs it up, what even formed it, whatever gave them, they think, the 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 right or the credibility or whatever to do what they're doing in their administrative and statute and all this and that, all this bullshit. They come up with this crap. And there's guys out there that just cut through it and go, hey, look, section of this, section of that, the UCC, blah, blah, blah. They're cutting all this apart. And they show you where they're liars. Does that surprise you? So, like I said, you know, you don't get into conflict with a cop on the side of the road. It's just like, really, the fact of the matter is really, who the hell is he? He's just some fucking, you know, mind dead, brainwashed, subpar human, because that's why they got hired in the first place. They'll do what they're told because they'll believe anything they're told because they just aren't that smart. And then you got to walk into a courtroom, but you got to know how to handle the courtroom. And even then, the judges are going to violate laws. They violate laws all the time. They violate your rights every day, all day long. But you got to be smart enough to be able to sit there and argue the case, argue the merits, argue the uh, the standing, the jurisdiction. Say, it's pretty hard to discipline someone when they're the owner. I mean, you should be able to look at them and you're fired. Oh, you can't fire me. Well, there's a process to get rid of you. Exercise it. Exercise it. You know, keep a list of what they do and what they don't do and what they should have done and what they shouldn't have done. And I always think it's funny, and this is going to be interesting to see if people get this far. But especially, with this Epstein stuff, I don't follow it because it's so disgusting. These people, they're going to burn for eternity, as rightfully so. It's just sickening. But put that aside. Try to put your feelings aside. They sit there and they want to redact everything. Redact, 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 redact. Here's a piece of paper with a little bunch of black all over it. Okay, that's fine. You want to redact stuff? You do the same thing. Oh, we want this information. Okay, and redact everything. Well, what is this? I said, oh, I redacted it. Well, you can't do that. Well, you do it all the time. You tell me why the hell I can't redact something. You see, a lot of people forget too. You have police rights. You have police powers. You see, whatever they can do, you can do too, and more. See, that's how the system's set up. You can do more than they do. You're. I'm not going to just say rights. Your existence is much, much more than whatever they can do. Their existence is in this little box of, guess what? Job description. Statutes, job description. You say they have this little job description. They have to work within this box. You don't have to. You're not confined to a box. You're the owner. Okay? Remember that. You want to figure out how to take one of them guys on? Go to their job description. See what they haven't done and what they're supposed to have done. And plus, if you read the law, then whatever they come at you with, most of them haven't even read it. Or they just use this and that, and then that's it. And then they don't read the rest of it. And it's like, well, that doesn't even apply. And then they have a lack of evidence. They have a lot of hearsay because they weren't there in the first place. I always loved this. Okay, I know I should have stopped a long time ago. But hey, if you're still with me, great. Let me know because you're driving down the road, and all of a sudden a deer runs out in front of you, or you hit a slick spot, or whatever. Okay, and the cop says, writes you a ticket, driving too fast for condition. Uh, you know, didn't have control of their vehicle. They'll nail you with a few things like that. And I always find that interesting because I'm like, aren't you supposed to witness this? Aren't you actually supposed to be able to see it and witness it? But they're writing a bunch of hearsay down that they weren't privy to. They weren't there when it happened. What the hell do they know? They don't know shit. But they're writing down, see, they're falsifying records. Why don't the hell you go after them for that? It's all hearsay, people. They're falsifying government records. Remember that. That's one of the easiest things you go for because it's like, well, were you there? Well, no. Do you have film footage? No. Do you have witness? No. Well, you admit I didn't admit shit. You know, I didn't say, oh, yeah, I was flying down the road 90 miles an hour and lost control and slid out of it and then crashed into it. No. I mean, morons will do that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. Or the guy's, quote, drunk, driving under the influence. You know that because you're a doctor? You know that because you blew into this little machine? You tell them to go screw that machine and screw them. Oh, we're going to take your license. Well, they're going to do it anyways. They're going to try. You say, it's all bullshit, people. See, that's what I'm saying. It's all smoke and mirrors and bullshit. See? And you want to stand there and argue with them on the side of the road, and then they get pissed with you, and all of a sudden, I don't know, man. For some reason, you end up on the ground, facing the gravel. They're trying to break your shoulder blades and your arms, trying to get you. Oh, don't resist, don't resist. I'm not resisting, and they're breaking your arms and shit. Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. Say, this is what you pay for. You pay for these animals. Say, the owner pays for this. Ain't that something? I'm not saying that there are times when that is not necessary. There are times when that's necessary. Okay? If someone's out trying to harm someone or this or that, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other matter. But because they get mad, they get pissed. Oh, I smelled. And I've seen this happen. Oh, I smell marijuana in your car. You've been drinking. I smell alcohol. I will do a whole other thing on this because I did one before, long back, while back, but and I don't know, man. People don't listen. They don't want to follow to the end. Y'all take care now.